Right, next one. Hello again. It's nice to see you. I'll just put your name down and you can go right in. Heck yeah. Right, we did Room of Black, so let's go to Room of Lies. Lairs. The room of layers looks a bit like a conference hall, the kind you might see in an airport hotel. There was a meeting of regional managers here yesterday, followed by some couple's 65th anniversary in the evening. They left a few balloons behind. Worn plush stacking chairs are sat on either side of lacquered oak tables. In one corner there are wine glasses and a metal pitcher of water, alongside a stainless steel urn for coffee. Ghosts don't need coffee. One particularly nervous ghost is holding a cup anyway. Some habits never die. Why is the neck tilted? I have no idea. The bell rings and the ghost appears. Oh, look, he's so cute. Ah! A ghost! Oh god, sorry. Of course you're a ghost. We all are. I'm still not used to this whole being dead thing. I'm not used to it either. Nothing prepares you for this life, except this isn't life. Post-life? I feel so lost. When I used to have anxiety attacks, I'd focus on my breathing, listen to my heart beating. Now I can't breathe. I don't even have blood. What does that mean? Take it one step at a time. Steps. Yeah, that's a good one. It took me forever just to learn how to walk on solid ground. When I first woke up, after I died, I fell right through my coffin, through my own body, down, 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 into the bedrock. It was so dark. That sounds awful. It was. I will never forget the confusion, the helplessness. I seized up. That stopped me from falling. It was like my whole body become corporal. Not flesh, just like, you know, how if you concentrate, you can pick up objects, like that. Except I was the object, and the earth was holding me. It was so quiet there, stuck in solid rock. How did you get out? I pulled myself up, away from the heat below, sort of crawled my way to the surface, through the earth. I felt the rock moving through me. Ah! The bell rings. Oh, that was just a bell. Phew. Thank you for listening. I guess we'll talk more in a bit. Hopefully the other ghosts are as nice as you. No, if you keep screaming at them, they won't be. Another ghost appears. Ooh. Well, look at what we have here. The ghost voice creaks like an ancient wood. The name's Spooky Peter. He tips his hat. Dust spills off the brim. How do you do? You seem ancient. My record of hauntings goes back long as the door, since the Black Death took me in 1665. Thought the plague was earlier. The Black Death comes in waves, lingered for centuries. I was a doctor in London. I knew I'd got it. The second the chill started, I was dead in days. Last great gasp of bubonic on the island. Some 60,000 went with me. Ever since then, I've been spooking folks, even been in books. Not always by name, mind you, but you can tell when it's me. The top hat, the fear, all hot and sick. Nobody spooks them like Spooky Peter. I trust my best. Do you? Guess I see it. The potential, I mean. I can try to help with that. Teach me your spooky ways. Now. Spooky Peter doesn't just teach anybody. A rock has potential. Before you throw it through a window, what makes you any better? I turn milk into worms. I make unplugged stereos blast music. I can pull my face off. I'm gonna go with the bottom one. Spooking like that may shock them, but there ain't no art to it. You go all the way. The living have nothing more to fear, and when they aren't spooked, what's the point? No. The spookiest spooking's the stuff that eats at you, makes you doubt what you hear or see, makes you wonder what could be under the bed. It's never as spooky when you see it what it is. Or how's that for a lesson? Basic. Hey now, gotta start somewhere. If a legendary spooking is what you're after, and Spooky Peter's gonna take you under his wing, so to speak, you'll need a solid foundation. Sherlock, it feels like a post he would do. Probably. It's all about knowing your audience, and good spooking is in the details. The bell rings. The bell. It means we move on. Guess I'll be seeing you when I come back round. A thick layer of dust now covers the table. Nice. Another ghost appears. Want to make some money? Doesn't everyone? Exactly. Everyone needs money. You get it. How do you propose we make money? That's the good part. We take it, steal it. Then what? We use it. Use it to buy favours. Favours with the breathers. Influence. Information. Living always want the money. The living buy plenty. The name's Leon, by the way. I rob banks. Don't judge. You rob banks. Banks. Financial institutions. Cash condos. You know the joints. I know what banks are. Good. You passed the test then. You meet my impossibly high requirements. A ghost who knows what a bank is. Let's do this. The problem with robbing banks, people see the robbers, but you can't see a ghostie. We can walk right in and float that money right on out. Genius, right? It's a perfect crime. I can't believe I'm humouring you. You know it'll be a good time. We might get money out of it. And what are the consequences? Are the cops going to arrest a ghost? No. No, they are not. There's no harm in hearing you out. Name's Leon. So this is what he looks like after he got bald. Yeah. That isn't like scales or something. That's basically the dents the balls left. No harm at all. At the very least, it'll break up all the gloom in this room. Leon looks around at the other ghosts. Yeast. The bell rings. Nuts. Time to switch seats. Don't worry, I'll be back. We've got more to talk about. The second round begins. The other ghosts. Holy were the awful. Leon's just a creep. And Spooky Peter, that name is earned. Oof. Also, I think I forgot to introduce myself. My name's Ko. Sorry. No need to be sorry. No need, sure. I'm still sorry, though. My anxiety gets the best of me, and social situations are tough. This one especially. Spooky Peter's been around. I think it's actually just dust. My rule? Never trust anyone who wears a hat. The stuff he said to me, the hairs behind your neck know me. It's best to hide in the corner of their eye. He's what I was afraid of as a kid. He said he's been in books. I believe it. The man's almost theatrical. Reminds me of a character actor playing the devil on stage. I totally see it. I'm not a confident person, but I'm rarely wrong. You should stay away from him. You're not like these other ghosts. I'm sure thankful for that. At best, dating ghosts is frustrating. Everyone asks the same things. How did you die? What was your life like? If we were alive, the question would be like, what kind of food do you like? What's your favourite movie? Dying doesn't make people more interesting. It's Videodrome, by the way. My favourite movie, I mean. Long live the new flesh. Ha! You know it. Sometimes I feel like a VCR, obsolete, out of date, no new stories to tell. We can find new stories, maybe, or we can just rewatch old ones. You missed things the first time, so do you want to hear how I died? If you want to talk about it, might as well get it out of the way. I was in film studies, working my way toward a PhD, in debt, always pretty sad. I had good friends though, I was always studying. One weekend they convinced me not to study. They said we should go to the lake instead. I couldn't swim, I never learned. You see where this is going. I drowned. Everything went black and quiet. I woke up dead in a fancy wooden box under 6 feet of dirt. That's when I fell deeper. Like I told you before, I hate thinking about it. Why do I always dwell on the bad stuff? What's your favourite food? Seriously? You're asking me my favourite food? Coffee's a food, right? It's coffee. We could go for coffee after this. At a coffee shop? No thanks. We can't drink coffee anymore, and I hate being around the living. They somehow make me even sadder. The carnival. We could go to an art gallery. Art gallery used to depress me. Oh my god, half the art is super sad, and all of it's better than anything I could do. Which just reminds me that I wasted my life, so I'm gonna say no to art. Tell you what, I'll come up with something a little different, hopefully. That sounds good. Yay, I can't wait to do something with you. Oh, look at his little smiley face. This isn't talking about myself, sorry. The bell rings. See you after we're done. Mo, you get to choose which one we go on a date with, by the way, at the end. My spooky protege returns. What knowledge do you seek, protege? Protege. I have done the rounds. Had a look at the crop. Okay, you have what is required, the stuff. Now ask what needs asking. What spooks Spooky Peter? Not much, though I will say I ain't so fond of beasts. You're scared of animals. Beasts are all insects. Their fear is primal, tangible. I can't spook a beast, not like a person. I take it you don't have a pet. Never. And I steer clear of people who do. Spooky folk like me rely on a certain covertness. I can't just be all clanging around, announcing myself. That's not so spooky. Cats, they can sense Spooky Peter. They know I'm there. If I hide in the closet, they'll scritch and scratch at the door, start yowling, even run around in the dark. To wake the owners, I wager. It's trouble, let me tell you. A real impediment. Spooky Peter wheezes. Something's rattling around in there. Tell me about the plague. The man I was died. I won't say much more than I have. I did my life. Now I do something else entirely. You ever been into the mirror world? What's that? The place beyond this, but the same as this. You've seen it, but always looking in. The bell rings. If you fancy another lesson, come on by that edge of things. I'll show you around the other side. I like that. Maybe you think you'll like it. Seeing it's another thing entirely. Some things spooky, even Spooky Peter. Okay, so, here's what I'm thinking. You're coming with me, while I get a third ghost to watch the door. We can plan later. Why, though? We've got the time now, might as well use it. Good thinking. You're a careful one. I can see that coming in handy. Lord knows I could stand to be more careful. Do you still when you were alive? Do sharks have fins? Shh. Fran's coming. How's everything going over here? Just great, Fran. I think I found the one. I'm glad to hear that, Leon. Carry on. Don't mind me. Just checking in. Do you think she knows? Seems likely. Oh well. Worst she can do is kick me out. I hope. I'm not a big fan of authority. I stole candy when I was 9. Switched to stealing beer at 14. Stole my first car a year later. I helped at convenience stores, drive-ins. Even held up a laundromat once. I threw my back out, carrying all those quarters. Why did you steal? More like, why do I steal? It made more sense than other work. Getting robbed by the man. Legally, you know. Now I steal because I can turn invisible. Used to dream of a power like that. It would have kept me out of a lot of jail. I robbed 5 banks in all when I was alive. I spent the rest of my life behind bars. How did you die? Prison's a hard place, especially when no one trusts you. If there's anything I learned from my dishonest life, it's honesty. Fair. The bell rings. That's our time. You've heard my pitch, gotten to know me a little more than I like. So what do you say? I'm going to turn him in. Wait, what? Nice try. There ain't a jail around. They can hold a ghost. I think. Leon doesn't stick around long enough to find out. Spooky Peter looks over at you. He seems concerned that Leon left. Wonder what that's about. Right, who do you want to go on a date with, Mo, if you're still around? And this is it, by the way, and then I'm going to go because I got to go and clean my guinea pigs out, apparently. Peter, you want to go with Peter? Alright, we'll go with Peter. That Peter. You arrive for your date with Spooky Peter. A hall of mirrors at a roadside carnival. A clown's face, all smiles and menace, watches over the entrance. He took me to the carnival. Welcome to my home. Inside are twisted corridors lined with mirrors, with only a slight reflection. It's especially disorientating to navigate these halls. Spooky Peter leads you to a specific mirror taller than the others. The mirror's face is concave, as if to pull in everything around it. We are going into this mirror. Follow him. Together you step inside the mirror. Welcome to the mirror world, or as it's known here, the mirror world backwards. That's the mirror world spelled backwards. Do you see the eerie green? That is what happens when an image reflects itself. It takes on eerie green. The more times a reflection is reflected, the greener it becomes, just like this. Ooh, that's a pretty green. Thank you. Do not be afraid. Nothing here can hurt you. In the mirror world, the physical laws are upended, and am I really here? Or am I over here? Or am I over here? Perhaps it is all of the above. Or even nowhere at all. Hehehe. That's amazing. I thought you might be impressed. I have practiced these skills for ages, centuries. It's not easy being green. Now come with me. The spooking hour approaches. That's 3 a.m. in case you're wondering. Where are we going? We are headed to a brownstone. A walk up I know quite well. The second floor apartment in a house going on 100 years. A student of the arts named Paul has moved in. He heard the rumours. The house is haunted, they said. He ignored them. The cost was worth the fear. Together you and Spooky Peter fly through the void, passing countless mirrors in reverse, each peering into a life still being lived. Each mirror in the living world is actually a door. Staring into one long enough in the dark, or saying a spirit's name 3 times, that's like knocking. After a short trip through oblivion, you arrive at a particularly decorative mirror. A splendid haunt. Spooky Peter leads you through the mirror glass into a long hall lined with bricks on one side. There are still boxes in the hall. The mirror you step through is propped up against the wall. At the far end is a massive kitchen with original marble tile that does well to hide its age. Paul is sleeping. Let's get to spooking. Spooky Peter leads you through the closed bedroom door where a man in his 20s is sound asleep on a mattress. He is snoring loudly. Spooky Peter floats to one shadowy corner by the open window. The motions for you to do the same. The curtain flaps over Peter's shadowy visage. He stands silently, hat bent slightly forward. He's just standing there. Should we flicker the lights? Patience, protege. The aim is to be a presence, not a nuisance. Spooky Peter stands motionless for several minutes. Wait, no. 40 minutes. 40 minutes of doing nothing but standing there. Finally, he moves away from the corner. Watch, protege, as I tighten the knot. Spooky Peter sinks into the hardwood floor. The old wood lets out a loud creak, 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 as steady as a pulse. Paul is still snoring. Peter moves into the ceiling and starts to scratch, scritch, 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 like a raspy breaths. Paul is still snoring. It's not working. Peter is starting to look annoyed. He floats over to Paul and peeks in his ear. Some sort of orange foam. It obstructs his ear canal, preventing him from hearing us. Again, I am thwarted by the progress of man. Scratch on the wall. You scratch with one nail, long and deep above Paul's head. It leaves a long vertical line in the plaster. Make it across. Excellent work, protege. Faith haunts them, same as ghosts. The fear this will style brings me butterflies. I am proud of you, protege. Truly you are spooky this day. We're spooky! Spooky Peter leads you back into the hallway mirror, back through this weird mirror world of his. A fractal realm on the dull side of the train. What he said. Eventually you reach the mirror that leads back to where you came in. Well, this is me. Thank you for your company. That was fun. I am pleased. Before we return to the physical world, I should warn you, time behaves differently in the mirror world. What may have felt like hours was in fact years. A decade has passed since we began this date. I speak in jest. It's barely been the length of a talkie. The look of fear on your face. Spooky Peter spooked you good. He tips his hat to say goodbye. More dust falls off the brim. Guess I'll be seeing you. A breeze picks up and the rest of him blows away. Sorry about this one. You happy? You happy with your date, Mo? Did that make you happy?